Hey guys, it's Dallas. This week we're going to talk about comic book binding. This is something we touched on in the past on our podcast. If you visit our website at bunchofdorks.com and scour the archives, you'll find a few episodes about it. So, comic book binding has gained popularity in many comic collecting circles over the past number of years. For those that don't know, comic book binding is a process of collecting a large number of single issues and having them bound together into one large hardcover or softcover edition. This can be done professionally, or if you're more adventurous, you can do it yourself in the comfort of your own home. I've done it both ways to varying degrees. So first, I want to show you a couple examples of the books that I've had professionally bound. The first one I have here is one of my favorite comic book collections of all time. It's Promethea by Alan Moore, J.H. Williams III, and Mick Gray. It was released late 90s and it ran through about 04, I believe. And it was by America's Best Comics. Now this is a 32-issue comic book series. So what I did was take the entire run and I had it sent off to a professional printing and binding company. And they put it together for me. So here it is. This is the hardcover. Now what I did is I created the cover, spine, and the back cover by finding some pics that I really liked off of the internet and used a little Photoshop. I added the picture, I put the logo on there. On the spine, I made it nice and easy to read so it'll look pretty good on the bookshelf. And on the back cover, I put the covers of each of the 32 issues that were released. So this actually came out really, really nice. If you have a good look, I mean, it's nice, it's flat there, you can see where the binding itself is. The stitching's fantastic. Now, the one problem I have with this book, there are a number of two-page spreads. The majority of this story includes these massive two-page spreads by J.H. Williams III. They're absolutely beautiful. The main problem is there is a good number, or a good amount of gutter loss in a big binding like this. What that means is the gutter is kind of the very center area right here, okay? You can see right here, this would be considered the gutter, and when you have a book of this size, when you open up a page, you can't see the very center of it, so you're going to have a little bit of loss. You might not be able to see some of the picture, even a couple of parts of the word balloons. Unfortunately, that's just something that happened with this book. Not all books depend on two-page spreads or having a lot of stuff in the gutters, and it's usually not a big issue. There's another one that I had. After Promethea, it seemed pretty successful. I thought that looked pretty good, so I went through the same company, and I got a New Mutants book. Now, this is the original New Mutants run by Chris Claremont, Bob McLeod, and Bill Sienkiewicz. It's the first 31 issues of Marvel's run. Once again, I scoured the internet to find some good pictures. I just kind of used Photoshop to put this together, made the spine look nice. In the back, I just made like a pretty little collage here of some of my favorite images of the New Mutants. The great thing about this, you'll notice, these are the original issues, and I mean, look at that yellowing, the old paper, the old comics from the 80s, I mean, you see that. The books themselves, I've got the covers in there, got the pages, I've got the ads as well, because those were on the back of a lot of the pictures. And I mean, in here we've got some absolutely stunningly beautiful artwork by Bill Sienkiewicz. If you're a fan of Bill Sienkiewicz, you should absolutely check this out if you haven't. Of course, if you are a fan of Bill Sienkiewicz, you probably already read this run. So this came out pretty good. Gutter loss wasn't really an issue with this. Like I said, it's kind of a rare occasion. Now, the professional binding company that I went through to have these two hardcovers done, they don't do comic book binding anymore. Now, all you have to do is just go on Google and keyword comic book binding, and there are plenty of companies out there to do that. They generally range between $25 to $35 to have a book bound. Shipping might be a little more as well, another $5 or so. But I would definitely look into it. Now, the process of binding books yourself is a little different. I have a couple books that I bound. Now, I did them softcover because I didn't really have access to the hardcover paper that I wanted to use. The process isn't too complicated. Now, first thing you would want to do is, with your single issues, you're going to want to remove the staples. Okay? That's the first thing. Once the staples are removed, you get all of your books together in a stack, you line them up, and you cut off the very end of them at their spine. Once that's done, what I like to use is a little muslin or another material that holds the books together. So basically you'd have a stack like this, and then you would use a material on the ends where the spine is. Then I use a very thick cardstock, and I created the cover, spine, and the back cover on one piece of paper. This is one I did. This is top 10. It's another Alan Moore joint, America's Best Comics. Now, this is a 12-issue run. I put all 12 issues in here. This cover, as you can see, is a thick cardstock. It's quite a bit thicker than the actual comic book pages. Here's the pages. The cover, the spine, and the back cover are all together as one. So anyway, there's a specific glue you can get. You put on the inside of the spine, and then that muslin that was holding the books together, compress them, and it holds. There's different kinds of glue you can use. I would go online and check that out. As you can see though, it's a bit tricky to get all of the pages and the pages lined up exactly. If you look, it's kind of a mess here. You know, it's not perfectly flat. Still holds together great though. I was very happy with it. So, okay, overall, binding is a great alternative to hoarding a large number of floppies. If you have a lot of single issues sitting around and you really don't know what to do with them, or you'd like to display them somehow. Bound books look great on your bookshelf. Like I said, I think these look good, and I was very happy with the spines. I mean, just standing up next to all my other hardcover and softcover trades, I think they look great. There's plenty of professional companies you choose from, but if you're planning on binding it yourself, like I said, be sure to do some research for the best method. That's about it for today, so thanks for watching, guys. And if you enjoyed this, go down there, hit like, or even subscribe to the page. You can check out our website at bunchofdorks.com. Our podcasts are available pretty much anywhere that you can find podcasts, iTunes, Steam, anything like that. And don't forget to leave comments below. So until next time, take care of yourselves and read more comics.